I'm Chris Hamlin with the IOBSE communications team, and this is the IOBSE Spotlight. This year, we'll be meeting with several of our IOBSE board members, our IOBSE students, and several of our IOBSE members. And let me just go back here. IOBSE, that is the International Organization of Black Security Executives. And the super cool thing here is that we'll be able to spotlight them, spotlight their careers, and really share why becoming a member of IOBSE could be life-changing. Today, I have the honor to speak with Yvonne Rouse, our current IOBSE president. Yvonne, thanks for joining me, and thanks for really accepting the invitation and getting to the hot seat with me today as we learn a little bit more about you.
Absolutely. I really thank you for having me.
Awesome. Well, let's jump in here. I would really, and I know our audience out there, they really want to learn a little bit about your career, because being the president of IOBSE is not your day job. So tell us a little bit about what do you do within the industry, Yvonne?
I currently work for Rouse Dress for Less. I'm a VP of Division I Loss Prevention. But I really started my career, like a lot of people, just really not knowing a lot about loss prevention, right? And grew up in the field. I have a degree in accounting. I went to an HBCU, and just really had the opportunity to get involved with the IOBSE and just work my way through.
Nice. So over your time, and you've been with Ross a little bit over 12 years or so now, I think it is.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Being with Ross and just experiencing many different changes in the environment, changes within the industry. Can you talk about or share a little bit about how the IOBSE connection helped to kind of guide you or give you direction in the industry, even as you progress within your career?
Well, I will tell you, I started my career with TJX. I worked at TJ Maxx, then I worked at Marshall's. From there, I went to Sears. And then at Sears, I met Suni Shamapande, who was a past president. And he said, hey, I want you to, learn a little bit about this organization and come see what it's all about. And I attended a couple of the conferences, and then I was invited to a meeting. And from there, I was just hooked and been able to stay with the IOBSE. I worked with Will Baker. He was my boss, my media supervisor, just an amazing individual. Is a member, past president of the IOBSE, Ray Cloud, past president of the IOBSE. So really being able to work with people who are like-minded and people who really care about others and care about helping others grow their career.
That's awesome. When you talk about growing your career, and really kind of leaning into that professional development phase. Can you tell us a little bit about, what has been your drive or your motivation to continue to personally develop yourself to continue to achieve along your career journey and path?
Well, what I'll tell you is I've always been a huge advocate of personal development and really owning it, right? Yvonne, you have to own it. Now, there comes a point where you have to ask for help. And, I was never really great at asking for help, but that's where I learned how to start asking for help. And then as you learn to ask for help, you get a mentor, you get a sponsor, you get someone to work with you, you're able to grow your career. So personal development is really, really important with you owning it first. And then once you reach that plateau or that point, you reach out to others, and then you rely on others to become interdependent, and you are able to really grow as a leader. And, a leader who really has people following them because you're really pouring into those individuals.
Wow, that's awesome. And I'm sure as you've connected with those sponsors and those mentors, and they were pouring into you, you got to tell me, because I know I kind of experienced this before, where I get to that pivot point where I wanted to be led by somebody that had past background and past experiences like myself. Can you tell me how important it is to have those individuals pour into you that represent your history, your background? They might look like you, they might have experienced things like you. Can you tell me how important that is to you?
That's so important, is because you don't feel alone, right? There have been so many times that I have walked into meetings. I've been the only person of color. I've been the only woman. But then to have somebody that I could lean on, to ask questions to talk to, makes a huge difference. I think about our past presidents and our leaders. Keith White is one of those people that you can just ask a question to, you get an answer. Ray Cloud, ask a question, you get an answer. And it's not people who don't understand what you're going through or what you've been through. It's that they've been there, they understand it, and they can help you. And that's the really, really important thing about this organization.
Wow. Wow. So when you talk about IOBSE and you talk about this mentorship, this sponsorship, this environment that promotes growth and personal growth, what do you, when you look back and you think about starting out early in your career, even before you got connected with IOBSE, what would you tell yourself, knowing everything you know about IOBSE today? What would you tell your younger self that might be interested or looking for the journey that you've experienced as being a member and now the president of IOBSE?
Just really be your authentic self, first and foremost, and then collaborate with others, right? And there are a large number of allies out there that you can collaborate with, like-minded people that you can collaborate with. Those are the kind of things that I didn't do until I got further along in my career. And if I would have known, or if I would have had somebody to reach out to me and say, hey, Yvonne, this is something you should look at, you should do, it makes a world of difference. I remember when Curtis Hayes, one of the founding fathers, talked to me about IOBSE, and he said, Yvonne, this is an organization that makes a difference in the lives of others. You can absolutely be a part of it. And so that is what IOBSE did for me and has done for so many others and will continue to do.
That's awesome. That's awesome. I've heard you speak and get very passionate about the growth of our students and the development and pouring back into our students, and especially those that might not know anything about the security industry or might not have the direction of going in the security industry. Why is that so important for you?
Because if I would have had someone, when my younger self, when I was in college and I was making decisions, or even before I got to that point, before graduation, I may not have wasted so much time doing other stuff. I may have immediately said, wow, here's an opportunity. And so that's why that's so important to me, for students to, and not only students, right? So it's students, young professionals, mid-year professionals, and even as you grow your career, you really need to stay connected to others to help and ask questions. I have 2 kids, right? Right. And I'm a mother, and I'm young, and I'm doing my thing, and I'm out there making it happen. And all of a sudden, it's like, okay, who can I ask about this? I didn't have anybody to ask. And so IOBSE is just really one of those organizations that really has made a difference for me.
Wow. When you think about, and I think you were almost going there, when you think about your life and life lessons that you live by, could you share something with the audience here about a core principle, a core life lesson? And I know you have many, because I've heard some.
Well, I'll tell you this.
Yep.
Integrity and respect and being humble is huge with me, right? I really believe that if you have integrity, you respect others, and you're humble, you can really grow, and you can help others. Others can help you. And it just makes the world of a difference. I tell people all the time, people don't care how much you know. They want to know how much you care. John C. Maxwell. Yeah. That has been a lifelong thing for me. And that comes from my mom.
Wow. Wow. Integrity, respect, and being humble. Wow. Definitely some core things to live by. As you look out there and you see up and becoming leaders within the industry, you see new members joining IOBSE, what's some advice that you can share personally? Like, even if you were looking at me, what's some advice that you could give individuals that like myself, that are newer in the organization, that are out there and really trying to follow individuals' footsteps like yourself, and be leaders just like you down the road? What's some advice you can share for us?
I would say get involved. Get involved in a committee. Now, I've talked to several people. Well, Yvonne, I called and nobody. No, don't stop. Don't let there be any obstacles. You find a way to get involved. You find a way to have your voice heard. That will make a significant difference for you, because the closer you are, the more work you'll do, right? And I know you always hear me say, harvest is ripe, but the laborers are few.
There we go.
That is something that is really important. And you can't let there be obstacles. We all work, and we all know that we have other jobs. We all know that there's a lot of things to do. But if you really want to make a difference in others' lives, you have to be a servant leader, and you have to serve. And it doesn't mean you have to do, crazy hours and things like that. There may be times that you have to, but for the most part, it's just about giving back.
Right.
And that's so important.
Wow. The different committees, getting involved, and those different committees that are out there. Can you just share just briefly just some of the committees that are connected with IOBSE and what they do or what their purpose is for the organization?
Well, the first one I'll start with is the membership committee, because it is so important, because it continues to grow and develop our organization by letting people know that we're here as an organization that can help, like-minded people. And so the membership committee is a big committee. There is the professional education committee. That's where if you're, you got a stable career and you really want to get in there and help us, that's where we need the help. That's another committee. That communication committee. I mean, you're on the communication committee. Communication committee has done a phenomenal job this year. They've really worked on our website, worked on all of the spotlights. They've done a lot of different things. So there are a lot of different committees. That's three that, off the top of my head, that I believe that if people get involved, they can make a difference. Everybody always wants to do the education committee because it's the fun part, right? You're working with the students and you're doing all those things. And we have so many people working on that committee, which is great work that they do. Right. But there are other committees. And I would just encourage, everybody to find one that fits what you would like to do and how you would like to give back.
That is awesome. And of course, I'm going to give it up to the comms committee, because I'm super excited for the team and what the focus and under the leadership of Bobby, what everything is coming together and what we're trying to do this year. So super excited for that, and to be able to carry that same message out to everybody out there as well. Mm-hmm. Thinking about, this is, we're in 2023 and your term as president, it's about to be handed over and you're at the end of your term. And so for that new president that's going to come in to lead up IOBSE, not saying goodbye to you, because you're going to be here. We're going to keep you around.
Yes, I will still be here.
Yes.
I just won't be president, right? I served 2 terms. And I really believe that if you've done 2 terms, that's enough. Allow somebody else the opportunity to take us to that next level. But I would certainly tell them, it's just really, when I talk about integrity, I really mean that. That's got to be the foremost thing that you want to do. You have to be a servant leader. Right. You can't be someone who just is going to, want to bark out orders. That won't work. You have to lead with influence, because, we're working with professional people. And then you just have to be humble. I live by those things. And I think that if the incoming president understands that, then they will truly be successful. And the other thing is just be their authentic self. Just be yourself. Yeah. Don't try to be Yvonne. Don't try to be Keith White. Just be you. Right. You make a huge difference for us.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Could you leave us with a personal quote, Yvonne? It's something that really resonates with you, and something that could help anybody within their career, maybe their life, their personal journey. But could you just leave us with some words of wisdom here?
I will tell you that as a young professional, a mid-year professional, a student, or a seasoned professional, study your craft, study and know your business. Continue to educate yourself. The Japanese call it Kaizen. Continue to study, continue to learn. Then you take what you learn and you put it into practice. It's that daily practice of whatever it is that you want to achieve through setting your goals, your objectives, but actually, put it into practice. And then teach someone, right? Yeah. Teach someone so that you can also help someone achieve their goals, achieve what they would like to achieve. And those things have been so important for me. Just being a student of the business, really putting it into practice, and then reaching back, reaching forward, reaching sideways to help somebody else. Because it's never been about compensation. It's never been about position. It's never been about any of those things for me. It's really about helping others and serving others.
Wow. That is so heartfelt. and it's giving me like goosebumps over here. So I really appreciate that. I know our audience really will enjoy hearing these words of wisdom from you, hearing your your professional journey, your career, where you've gone, and we're just super thankful for the past 2 years that you've led IOBSE and all that you will do going forward with us in the organization as well. So, any last things before we wrap up, Yvonne?
No, I'm just thankful for our founding fathers, right?
Yeah.
You know, it's because of them that we're here now, and just really making sure that we continue the work that we're doing, and we do it with respect and integrity, and that's it.
That's awesome. Well, you heard it. Respect, integrity, give back, and keep teaching others. So with the IOBSE Spotlight, we're super excited. Yvonne, thank you so much for spending the time with me today. It wasn't that bad in the hot seat, right?
No, it wasn't. I always enjoy talking to you.
That's awesome. Well, we will look forward soon to the next person I get to interview and bring into the hot seat to learn more about their career, their journey, and while becoming a member of IOBSE could be super life-changing personally for yourself and also for your career. Until next time, see you later, guys.
Thank you.